Imagine a scenario where humanity is literally at the absolute top of the galactic food chain. We save everyone from certain destruction, get stabbed in the back by the very people we just saved, and then we just completely vanish, only to return when no one expects it, wielding unimaginable power. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going through one of the absolute most incredible narratives of betrayal, secret evolution, and the ultimate long con ever recorded in galactic history. It's called the King's Gambit.
To really set the stage for this explainer, listen to these chilling final words. Good luck, you're gonna need it. Those were spoken by King Adrian Rex, the last king of Earth, and he delivered that exact line directly into the cameras just moments before a blade of collapsed star matter fell and ended his life. Billions of aliens watched this broadcast, and you know what? They celebrated his demise. But here is the thing that makes this moment so profoundly fascinating.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever seen someone who just knows they hold a secret trump card? That is the exact energy here. Why on earth would the defeated king of a doomed species smile at his own execution? Picture the scene. His arms are bound tight in unbreakable neutron steel, energy suppressors are glowing right around his neck, and the 12 high counselors responsible for his people's downfall are floating right above him, gloating. Yet, as the blade is raised, the guy smiles. So, to figure out what's going on, we have to look at the timeline of this massive betrayal. It all starts with the Devourer War 5 centuries ago. Then we get the grueling 70-year Council War, followed by Day Zero, the execution of King Adrian, and finally, a highly mysterious broadcast exactly 7 days later. Let's break this down.
For 20 long years, humanity fought absolutely alone to defeat the Devourers. If you're not familiar, they were an ancient, terrifying machine swarm that had emerged from dark space and literally consumed entire civilizations. Earth sacrificed millions of human soldiers and thousands of ships. And against all odds, we won. We destroyed the swarm, we saved the entire galaxy. But instead of, gratitude, the Galactic Council felt immense fear. They were absolutely terrified of humanity's technological power and sheer determination. So the Council created lies. They started spreading propaganda across the stars, framing humanity as villains and a massive threat. And that eventually sparked a huge war against the very species that had just saved them. Talk about a backstab, right?
So the crucial point is that humanity didn't lose this 70-year war because of inferior military might. Not at all. We lost because of a perceived weakness, honor. Even though human fleets were fighting outnumbered 10-1, they were continually pushing the Council back again and again. But King Adrian absolutely refused to sacrifice civilian worlds. The Galactic Council, however, had no such moral boundaries whatsoever. They used thousands of innocent planets as literal meat shields, forcing King Adrian to surrender just to prevent mass civilian casualties. It's a classic tactical dilemma, really, when your greatest virtue becomes your fatal flaw.
With humanity's surrender, the galaxy threw a massive, week-long party. Honestly, it's a staggering display of absolute hubris. The Galactic Council completely blinded themselves to the reality of what was actually happening behind the scenes. They were out there cheering, popping bottles, totally unaware that they were enthusiastically attending their own funeral.
Exactly 7 days after the execution, every military channel and screen in known space went completely, terrifyingly dark. And this brilliantly illustrates the turning point. 3 things happened in sequence. Step 1. The ancient emblem of Earth appears. Step 2. The text Phase 1 complete displays. And Step 3, the most terrifying message of all to a council that thought they had already won. The king is dead, long live the king.
The panic was immediate and for incredibly good reason. The executed man? He was merely a clone. The execution had been part of the plan all along. This entire time, the real King Adrian had been perfectly safe on a hidden artificial world located far, far beyond known space charts, in regions everyone considered completely impossible to cross. So humanity's disappearance wasn't a defeat at all. It was a deliberate, highly calculated retreat. We vanished to buy ourselves the one single thing we needed to secure our future: time. Let's move to and see how this builds, because this is exactly what happens when you give a resourceful enemy 500 uninterrupted years to prepare. The technological leap was staggering. We're talking matter replication, artificial stars, planet-sized warships, and reality manipulation drives. Humanity wasn't just rebuilding a broken society in the dark, they were ascending to a level of technological power the rest of the galaxy literally couldn't even comprehend.
With their 500-year preparations complete, King Adrian, very much alive and perfectly well on his throne, gave the order to bring humanity back. A hidden signal was sent out across ancient codes and forgotten frequencies to human descendants who had been secretly living among alien civilizations for generations. The message was incredibly simple but powerful. The king lives. Come home. And overnight, millions of hidden workers, scientists, pilots, and soldiers just vanished from Council territory. In a flash, the galaxy realized a horrifying truth. Humanity had never truly vanished. We had just been waiting.
And then Earth itself returned. But actually, scratch what you remember about Earth. This was absolutely not the stationary, vulnerable home planet the galaxy remembered. New Earth emerged from dark space as an enormous, moving fortress world. It was surrounded by millions of warships, its shields covered entire solar systems, and its weapons distorted space itself. When it appeared near Council territory, every single sensor overloaded. As one terrified military analyst accurately whispered, that wasn't a planet anymore. It was a weapon.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer absurd numerical disadvantage here. The Panic Council assembled the largest armada in history, 10,000 ships. And facing them, exactly 100 human ships. That's it. The council officers actually laughed. I mean, who wouldn't like those odds? They genuinely believed their overwhelming numbers guaranteed a swift, easy victory.
But that laughter didn't last long at all. 18. That is exactly how many seconds the ensuing battle lasted. Just let that sink in for a second. The largest, most powerful armada in the entire history of the galaxy was completely, utterly defeated in just 18 seconds by a mere 100 human vessels.
So how is a victory like that even possible? Well, the human weapons only fired a single time. And they didn't just blow up or disable the Council fleet. Because of humanity's reality manipulation technology, those 10,000 Council ships were literally erased from existence entirely. Gone. It was as though they had never been there in the first place. The silence that spread across the military channels was absolute. In an instant, the terror returned, and the galaxy remembered exactly why humanity had been the only species capable of defeating the Devourers centuries ago.
The balance of galactic power shifted back to humanity in 18 seconds flat. The terrified Galactic Council immediately begged for negotiations. A summit was arranged in the exact same chamber where humanity had been condemned centuries earlier. The same counselors were there, only now they were older and deeply, deeply terrified. And here comes the ultimate power move. King Adrian entered that summit entirely alone. He didn't bring guards or weapons, because when you hold literally all the cards, you don't need to show off.
The lead counselor, trembling in fear, asked King Adrian what he wanted. Adrian just calmly looked around the room at the politicians who had betrayed his people and thrown a week-long party to celebrate his execution. He gave them the exact same smile he had on the execution platform and delivered this chilling ultimatum. We came to see if the galaxy learned anything. And of course, nobody answered him. The heavy silence in the room answered the question perfectly. They hadn't.
And because they hadn't learned, humanity now possessed the absolute power to decide the future of every single civilization among the stars. So what does this all mean for us? What is the ultimate cost of betraying a loyal ally and letting hubris completely blind you to a 500-year trap? Well, the Galactic Council learned the hard way. Executing a king isn't a victory, it's just the beginning of the gambit. Thanks for exploring this incredible history with us.